Don't do what I'm doing. I'm updating the software on my GPS on the water from my phone. Not a good idea. But I'm anchored close to some brush here, and I'm gonna click restart. And while it's restarting, I'm gonna try to jig some fish. Obviously I can't see nothing, but I know there is some stuff in front of me. I'm gonna try to jig some fish with the new Vanford. You know, it's not really right now perfect for jigging because it has 4-pound line, kind of thick for my taste these days. But that's a big reel. I don't want to put 2-pound line on it. It will most likely be float fishing reel and white bass, you know, slightly bigger fish. But let's see what the sensitivity is like. Cast a few times over here. Already I can feel the casting is not the same with this thicker line. Maybe this guy is done, huh? I'm actually practicing my double jig rig for the perch. I don't know if that was a bite. That was a bite. All right. There we go. That's not the first fish on the Vanford. I did catch a few fish when I was just messing around before. Interesting. I have a chartreuse and black jig, and both of them came on the chartreuse, which I would not expect today. You'd think that these offshore fish are a little bit bigger, because I've been fishing last 3 times by the bank, and I was getting the 12-inch slabs by the bank. But I got a few crappie already over here on this offshore hump. Here's another one. They are definitely smaller than what I've been catching by the bank. Oh, bluegill in the middle of the lake. What are you doing here? You're just food. You're just walleye food. That's my double jig drop shot rig. Huh? That's a bite. That's a bite. No, I'm on the... No, that's not a bite. Now we have to go around to unhook my rig. And we're probably gonna spook the fish. Alright folks, I'm switching from double jig drop shot rig to a single jig rig because what I just broke was very expensive. These were 2 Japanese jigs with Japanese lures, with clips, with maybe 10 minutes of labor. That was expensive. Here we go. Crappie. The only thing I don't like, sensitivity is fine, but I feel I have too much. I feel I have too much muscle with a 2500 size reel. It's just too much muscle. Also, this rod is also kind of stiff, but that's a good slab. The 4-pound line bothers me, you know. I'm fishing 1 gram jig. With the drop shot it was fine. Sensitivity, everything was fine. Because I had 2 grams on the bottom of the drop shot. And then I had 2 1 gram jigs. So casting 4 grams with 4 pound line was nice. Now casting 1 gram jig instead of 4. The drag is super crisp. But so was on the other CI4 Plus. That's a 10.5 inch fish, folks. And he is going back. I would definitely not be using this tackle for what I'm doing right now, because I have my St. Croix behind me with a 2 pound line, but I want to catch some fish with this reel, see how it feels. But again, I'm feeling bites. Sensitivity is not the problem. Here we go. I'm feeling the bites. Casting with 4 pound line is the problem. Not a good crappie. Folks, you may be wondering why I let these fish flop instead of grab them. I can't hoist them like 3 pound fishing with my rods, okay? This is... Okay, it's a stiffer ultralight. One of these aging ultralights. They're kind of stiffer. But this is a 10.5 inch black crappie wide. That's a heavy fish. I cannot just hold it like this with this rod. I gotta tell you about the resistance of the reel, because I know in my live, unboxing, I said the resistance is not as low as the Vanquish and kind of the same as the CI4 Plus. And I completely still sustain that opinion. But to most of you, I have to say this is not a useful opinion. Like, you can only tell that this reel has higher resistance than the Vanquish if you have owned or used Vanquish. That's the only way to say that this reel could have even lower resistance. But right now, just fishing with it, I mean, the resistance is so low. I mean, again, it's low resistance on the CI4 Plus too. Where did my fish go? Oh, a little more this way. But my point is, if you don't have a Vanquish, you would love the low resistance of this reel. So a lot of people said, oh, I'm not gonna buy it because... No, don't let my opinion. This is still a very low resistance reel. I just said it's the same as the outgoing CI4 Plus, and that is true. I don't know if somebody can test the two things somehow, but that is true. But the gears here are definitely smoother. But this is a very low resistance reel. Like, nobody has nothing in common with the 2020 Luvias. 2020 Luvias is a high resistance reel. It's not just a little bit. This is definitely a much lower resistance reel than the Luvias. So all we know, that's an excellent reel. Do not be deterred by the resistance comments at all. Yeah, it's a great reel for jigging. Ah, bite, finally a bite. Haven't had a bite in a few casts. There we go. Very crisp drag. The sound is not very vibrant, not my first choice of sound, but I know that's too much for you to bear. Who cares about the sound? The drag is crisp and smooth. That's what we care about, right? Let's bring this puppy here. That's another 12-incher, folks. Look here. The moment you get closer to them and the trolling motor gets too close, turns around and shoots cold water into the school, and bye-bye school. So when I see a good school, I really try to stay away from them. This is where I don't agree with the new generation of crappie anglers who go right on top of them with these 15-foot poles and just drop on their heads, just like sharpshooting. Bite right in front of my boat. There is definitely no fish, nothing in front of my boat. Maybe he chased it all the way. It's another good fish. Whoa. Okay, he's not a 12. He's not a 12, but he's a fat 10.5. Probably don't believe me. I'll show you just one fish on camera, then you can compare the rest. Okay, some people will call this fish 11-inch. Okay, look, this is 11. Look, he is really close to 11. His mouth is touching. He is definitely over 10.5. Okay. Bite. Fish. One bite and a fish. Very crisp drag. Very smooth even with crappie. This is a 2500 size reel. That's a 10-inch crop. I can kinda lift this one. Look at this beautiful fat crappie. Okay, should be on the bottom now. Wow, fish already. Must have hit on the fall. Very crisp drag. Definitely you can use the 2500 size even for ultralight fishing. Very soft and very crisp drag, and that's a very nice 12-incher. I mean, that's just a slabberoo. I don't care if you're in Tennessee or Louisiana, Minnesota or Canada. That is a slabberoo everywhere. I'm getting a lot of interference on my Garmin, even if I reduce the gain. I don't know how people get such clear picture. For me, it's not easy to tell. Man, again, there was a fish here, never saw a bite. He must have hit it on the fall. I don't see a lot of fish. I definitely cannot see my jig falling. I promise you that I don't play this game. Whoa, that's another fatty 10.5. Here we go. He's a good one. Took me 10 minutes to catch this fish, folks. The weather got a little windy and I can't cast with this 4-pound line. It's torture in the wind. So I'm gonna end this video here. And thanks for watching, folks. I do appreciate it. See you soon. Bye bye.